Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch Want, and thanks for logging on. Today we are looking at the IWC Portuguese Regulateur reference IW544404, 43 millimeters in 18 karat white gold. You can see this Portuguese Regulateur on our website, watchyouwant.com. Purchase it there if you like, and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, IWC has achieved a perfect blend of stance and moderate proportions. Now the watch, 51 millimeters from lug to lug, with very shapely, dramatically downturned lugs, easily fits a smaller wrist like mine. I've mentioned my wrist size many times, but I do want to emphasize that my wrist is roughly oval in profile, and it really is the perfect shape because this IWC 51 millimeters lug to lug with dramatically curved lugs practically cambers or contours to the shape of my wrist. Now it's also wonderfully thin. Despite the 43 millimeter case size across the round of the case, this timepiece is only 12 millimeters thick, and with a concave, that's right, concave, not convex bezel, it easily accommodates a tight sleeve or dress cuff. This is a fantastic evolution of the Portuguese with a few heritage-inspired twists. Now, the regulator style, which separates the different elements of time, in this case hours, minutes, and seconds, historically was used in applications such as marine chronometers or exceptionally accurate clocks, sometimes the mother clocks from workshops at watchmaking studios that would be used as the basis for setting any watches being serviced and set within that studio. So this regulator, featuring that characteristic separation of indications, the better to prevent any one of them from being blocked by the other, is very much inspired by history, but it has a very contemporary stance and contemporary refinement. Now IWC often pairs the so-called ardoise sunburst dial with gold, either rose, yellow, or in this case white. But it's also paired with a beautiful monotone stitch, minimally bolstered alligator leather strap here that really accentuates the warmth of that white gold and that sunburst ardoise dial. You can see that the strap, which is quite spare and quite flexible, I should add, it bends down very easily to contour around a smaller wrist, has just enough body to appear substantial, but not so much to become rigid or to fight the curve of your wrist. On the underside, a high quality brown calf skin with a monotone stitch, and of course, in classical style, a beautiful, alternately brushed and polished pin buckle. You can see the faceting, you can see the beveling, you can see the brushed and polished surfaces, speaking to the amount of attention to detail that went into even this simple component. But the watch dial is the story of this regulateur. You can see the railroad track style minutes outboard of the dial. You can see at the center a gorgeous and immense leaf-style hand, a foy hand, tracking the minutes around. You can see small seconds with a concentric circular guillot-shaped pattern on its sunken subregister at 6 o'clock, and at each one of the quarter Arabic numerals, you see an applied white gold numeral on the dial itself. And that's correct. All of the applied numerals here, as well as the hands, are white gold to match the case. The ardoise dial, really sort of a silver-gray anthracite, has a great life to it. It's not quite gloss, and it's not quite matte, but it reflects light with a sort of directional action that makes it appear as though it has a life of its own. And on the case back, this watch quite literally does have a life of its own. You're looking at IWC's caliber 98-245. It is a true modern pocket watch movement, just as the Portuguese, conceived in 1939, featured an IWC Portuguese, well, Portuguese origin, in as much as the gentlemen Rodriguez and Teixeira, importers for the Portuguese market, ordered it, but it featured a pocket watch by their specification because they wanted a pocket watch movement more accurate than the wristwatch movements of the time, and this largely dictated the immense size of that original reference 325. On the regulator, IWC's 21st century pocket watch movement provides motive power. You can see that immense balance, almost 1/3 the width of the entire movement, beating away at a stately 18,000 vibrations per hour, or 2.5 hertz. Now what I really like here, I have the watch wound relatively modestly so that you can see the beats quite distinctly, and you can see the pallet and the escape wheel ticking away just beneath the balance. But look right here next to the peak of the 3/4 style bridge, and you can actually see the hacking lever, pocket watch style, come into direct contact to break the balance. It acts as a brake on the balance, and it's wonderfully visible in doing so. This is like a case study in watchmaking 101. You can see the flow of power from the crown to the crown wheel, to the ratchet wheel atop the mainspring barrel, and then its flow through the drivetrain, the center wheel, third wheel, fourth wheel, the escape wheel, the pallet, and the balance. You can see this huge evocative pocket watch style Jones Arrow Index, a tribute to the engineering traditions of F.A. Jones, the founder of IWC. And of course, the three-quarter bridge architecture, the jewels set in chaton, the huge channels between bridges and balance cock, that Jones arrow, everything about this watch is evocative of IWC's glorious past and the Portuguese model and model line's specific heritage. Featuring a 46-hour power reserve, hacking seconds, and that beautifully slow balance in immense size with incredible moment of inertia. This is a beautiful tribute to IWC's past, but it's a very, very compelling sight in the present. You can see this IWC Regulateur 18 karat white gold 43mm on our website watchyouwant.com.